Three, two, one. And folks, we should be live. Tell you what, somebody give me a signal, whether you can hear me loud and clear, whether you can see me, and we're just going to make sure that's all good before I get underway. So, looking for the first comment to reply to that. Sounds great, Weasel. All right, appreciate that. I just wanted to double check that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning into my first ever live stream, my first official one. I did it a week ago, late in the evening, and it was going to be just a test to see if I knew how to do it. And I was about a minute into it, trying to figure it out and kind of looking at my computer and all that stuff. And I glanced up and I had like 20 people in the room already viewing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So started conversing with you guys, and another minute or two later, we had like 40 people there. So it turned into a little show, but it was totally impromptu. I didn't have anything put together ready. But, you know, that got my nervousness out of the way, because I was truly worried that what if I did a live and nobody showed? So if it showed that way, I figured I'd probably be safe. And as I look at the room here, I see it's loading up with people. And boy, Craig, Weasel, Dennis, my brother Dave from Denver, John, Dennis, Jim. Okay, I'm not going to say them all right now, but I do see some people coming in. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm going to try to do something a little bit different than what I see my fellow content creators do. And that's going to be a little live stream once a week, every Friday night at 7, unless I crash and burn today. And I plan on doing a little topic on each one. So like today's topic is going to be paints and the different kinds of paints that you can use, from acrylics all the way to the solvent-based stuff. Going to do a little bench update, talk about my sponsors a little bit. Then I'm going to bring in my guest. Every week I'm going to have a different guest. And this week I got Kevin Smith. And if you remember, Kevin was featured in one of my videos where I built the 65 Ford Galaxy for. Kevin's a master builder. And I'm pleased to know him. He lives in the Akron area, and he's in the green room standing by. So, Kevin, I'll get to you here shortly. So anyways, that's the plan for the videos, and it's fluid. And forgive me, too, because of the technology and stuff that I have to play with and navigate around. I'm trying to be a one-man show here. I did ask my wife, my lovely wife, Debbie, if she would be my assistant, but she said, no way. And I don't blame her. So she got mad at me once because we were at a show, and in my recording, I just had a brief glimpse of her standing next to me, and she got all upset that I had her on camera. So anyways, I'm going to go solo here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to announce a game, and I'm going to kick that off right away. Let's give this a try, because I'm talking about navigation and whatnot. So I've got, and I'm not sure how many we'll get to during this presentation, because I don't want to run hours long. My plan is probably an hour, or if we're doing really well, no more than probably 90 minutes. But I have a little trivia game where it's going to be name that car, and it's going to be, when I show you the car, the first person who gives me the make, model, and year, all correct, and it has to be the right model too, will be the winner. I didn't have any prizes, though. It's kind of just for fun and games, folks. So let's kick that off and try one right off the bat here. Let me see here. Let me get myself set up for that. Okay, very first one is up. Name the make, model, and year of this car. First one correct wins. Nope, John, you're wrong. Nope, Weasel, you're wrong. Close, but you're wrong. Nope, Dennis, you're wrong. It is a Falcon. You're all right about that. What year is it? little clue, first year. Nope, nope, nope. You guys are dancing all around it. I'll keep watching that. Nope, hey, Weasel won, 1960 Ford Falcon. I thought that'd be kind of fun. That was one of the easier ones. In fact, they are all somewhat kind of easy. I have one that I know I wouldn't even got right, so that one will be coming up here soon. So, anyways, I think that's going to be kind of fun to do. Okay, I'm going to break away and show you what's on the bench next. So let's take a look here. And let me get my remote camera set up. I forgot to do that before I got started. So forgive me. I knew I would have. Maybe this is my first snafu of the evening, folks. Camera, second camera. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it yet, but part 1 video came out on New Year's Day, and that was recreating another car I had in high school, which was a 1974 Mustang II, and here's a picture of it. So I'm almost finished with it. It's really not a very good kit. It's an old AMT kit, has almost no detail whatsoever. Like the engine compartment is very, very poor. It's coming up pretty nice though. So part 2 of that video will be coming out here very soon, probably in the next day or two. But I'm not 100% done. I don't like the stance, so I'm going to adjust that a little bit. But pretty much finished. Looks a lot like my car. So I did some aftermarket parts on it. I added a hood scoop to a 69 Mach 1. I added the Cobra 2 rear spoiler, which my car had. Added the sport mirrors. Sport mirrors and the headlights came from my Boss 351 kit. So when I go to build that, I'm going to be missing some parts right off the bat. So anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Joe's Rust Shop. Joe's here. All right. Joe, I'm hoping that you're going to join me as a future guest one of these days. Okay, so next up is my next build that's going to come up after this. It's going to be the AMT 1960 Ford Starliner. I haven't done anything with it yet, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice kit. It's got a separate frame, got separate floor pans and everything. The body looks real nice, so I'm excited about building this. Now, the first one out of the chute was the Mustang because I wanted to just kick off with something easy because some of my last builds have been pretty challenging. But this Starliner, when I get to it, is going to be loaded with 3D aftermarket parts. So I've got a Ford small block V8. I've got the Ford small block power steering and air conditioning to go on that engine. Ford small block automatic transmission. Small block Ford twin turbo pack. And the performance pack for the small block Ford. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use yet. But those are going to be some aftermarket parts. And then I'm going to try some big wheels on it. I'm not a big fan of the big wheels, but I'm going to try it out on this one. So compliments of Model Maker's Workshop, Bryce over there, who's one of my sponsors. I've been sitting on these wheels for a while looking for just the right kit for it. So going to put some big old 22 Hornet street wheel and tire, low profile tires on the front and 24-inch on the back. So it's going to be like a nice resto mod. So that is my next build coming up after I finish the second build on the video. Okay, and switch back to the other camera here. Okay, so far I haven't done too bad. Real quick too, folks, I do want to, hang on a second here, just a second here. Okay, I'm going to do a little self-promotion here, and forgive me as I'm getting used to my controls. Self-promotion. in my store on YouTube. If you go to my main homepage, I have a store button, and I'll show you here. If you go to my store, I got circled here where it says store. Click on that, you're going to see my merch, and I've got 3 different kinds of logos, and I've got shirts and sweat shirts and hoodies and bags and stickers and coffee mugs or whatnot. And if you don't see what you want right in the store there, the next slide would be whatever item you're looking at, go up in the top left corner and hit all products, and you'll see more of my merch. A bigger selection there. And got 3 basic offerings here. So this is my original logo that I came up with, black and white logo, and it shows a little model builder there and talks about the channel name. And then next up is my newest logo, and I like this one. This was AI created through ChatGPT. So that's model builder. It kind of resembles me pretty good. And then I thought, well, hey, not everybody wants to carry t-shirts showing Ken and my channel. So I designed this one here, and it's called I Would Rather Be Building Models. And it's just a little t-shirt here with some artwork on it. So that, if you're at a show or if you're at the store or something, or you go to work and the boss is giving you a hard time and you show them your t-shirt, I'd rather be building models. So anyways, I had to do a little self-promotion there. Okay. The other thing is I just wanted to mention my sponsors real quick. Here we go, my sponsors. So Model Makers Workshop, you get 10% off any of their 3D parts. All you have to do is click the link in my description, and there's a code there, Model Building Ken 10. I think it's just the initials, and you get 10% off. Also, the Gallery, which is an airbrush and paint company, you get 10% off when you order from them, and they got everything from compressors to airbrushes to paints or whatnot. And again, a link in my description there. And also the software that I'm using for this brand new stream, it's called StreamYard, and I'll have a link in the description there too, in case you want to do your own live podcast. Compared to just YouTube only, where you can go live, it has no bells and whistles, so you can't do any of the banners, you can't do the names on the screen and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a little bit pricey, but it's a real nice, easy interface software. That's what I'm using here. So, anyways, I wanted to get all that out of the way. Tell you what. Before we get on to the main topic, let's do another trivia. Let's see here. Let me get that up on the screen. Okay, make, model, and year. It's another Ford. And you do have to have the year correct, folks. See if anybody gets this one. These are the easy ones. Easy if you know your Fords, I guess. Remember the day where, yep, okay, Christopher got it right. 63 T-Bird, absolutely. Yep, 63 had those little 3 slashes on the door. 61 did not. 62, I think, had little spear or dashes on the back quarter, but 63 had the 3 hashtags right on the door there. So, alrighty, I thought that'd be kind of fun to be doing, guys, so appreciate you playing along with me. Remember the day where you could be driving down the road, or your parents driving down the road and your kids in the backseat? I used to be able to tell every make, model, and car as they were approaching. I mean, very, very seldom was I stumped. I can't do that today. I can't tell a Jaguar from a Ford. They all look alike. Same with the SUVs. My boss has a real nice Volvo. It took me out to lunch the other day, and I was walking up to a Buick, and that's not my car. But to me, it was the same color. Anyways, remember that? Put a Mopar up there, Chester Lewis. Yes, a Mopar is in the lineup for today. So, okay. So, anyways, let's get into the topic of today. And that is paints, because I've got a lot of new people in my channel, Model Building and Retirement. You don't have to be retired to be watching my channel, and I know a lot of you aren't. But But I designed the channel mainly, at first it was just for family and friends to kind of follow along and see what I do. But once the channel took off, I decided to um, help people returning to the hobby or people starting out for the first time. So if you watch my videos, they're a little bit lengthier than most people's, but I take my time and try to explain tips and tricks and how I do my builds, and hopefully it's helping. The feedback looks pretty good on that, so I think it is. The channel's very successful thanks to all you guys. um, so anyways, since it's about helping people and learning stuff, I'm getting emails all the time about paint and whatnot. So I thought I would kind of cover the paints a little bit, and not the brands so much as just the types. So a couple things. First, there's the water-based acrylics and the pros and cons with that. Water-based acrylics is really good if you cannot have fumes. If you're painting with and we're talking airbrush for the most part. Kevin may have something to talk about when when he comes on about rattle cans. But if you're doing airbrush, water-based acrylics have almost no odor on them whatsoever. So it's a very good choice. And when done right, you can get the same results as a 2K solvent clear. And if you're watching any of my latest videos, the Kaleido paints, even though Gallery and Kaleido are my sponsors, I really am excited about their water-based acrylics because that clear coat is so durable that it sands and polishes up just almost as good as my 2K clears. So there's a plus there. The next one is lacquers. I'm not a big fan of the lacquer. First of all, they stink really bad, so they do have toxic fumes. So unless you have excellent ventilation, it's going to smell up the room pretty bad. But they're usually pre-mixed, and it's like a hot solvent, meaning, it's solvent, it's pretty strong stuff. But what's really good about that, the benefit, the pros, is that it sprays on very lightly. So it takes several coats to get your color build up. It dries really quick. So you can actually, if you got dust in your paint or whatever, you can stop. 15, 20 minutes later, you can sand away. If that long, you can sand away with a little bit of a 800 sandpaper, sand your little mistake away and go to your next coat. Or you can just keep coating until you're done. And it dries so quick that, there's no real flash time in between coats. If you're putting it on really wet, maybe a minute or two, maybe 5 minutes tops. So it has its place. And then my favorite is the enamels. And the enamels also stink up the house because they are solvent-based. But the enamels cover extremely well, and there's some beautiful colors out there. My preference is the MCW paints. Said I wasn't going to mention brands, but they're not a sponsor of mine, but I do like their paints. Very good colors. They cover extremely well, usually in about 2 coats. You got a beautiful paint job. And if you're using one of their gloss enamels, you could stop there and polish that out to a beautiful finish. Look like factory. Or I like to use their enamel 2K clear and really bring out that outstanding shine. So those are the 3 types of paints and the benefits of them. Now the enamel has the downfall is cure time. It stays tacky for several hours. Unless you're using a hardener in it, it's probably going to take 3 to 5 days to cure. You can put it in a dehydrator, maybe speed that up a little bit, but it definitely takes longer to cure. But it is my preference. But if you're going to tape off or something, I'd wait at least 3 or 4 days before I did that. So anyways, with that being said, I think my guest knows a lot more about paint than I do. So I think it is time to bring on my special guest. And before I bring Kevin on, I've got a little montage to show some of his builds to lead up to it, in case you don't know who Kevin is. So here are some of... And with that being said, here comes Kevin Smith.
Hey,
Welcome,
I'm here.
Kevin. Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. I'm so glad to have you on the show.
Nervous as can be.
Don't be. Yeah, I was telling you earlier, you have more live stream experience than I do because you've been a guest on some of the shows already. But hey,
Yeah.
let's just pretend we're FaceTiming back and forth, and don't worry about the 10,000 viewers from 29 countries that are watching us. Don't even
Oh
think
boy.
about them.
No pressure, right? So
uh,
so far, so far, it's smooth as a stucco bathtub.
yeah, yeah.
Till I come on, right?
And to my viewers, if you're fairly new to the channel, I did a build for Kevin just recently. That was a 65 Ford Galaxy that was all patinaed up, and Kevin requested that build. He had one that was pristine that he built, the way that he bought the car and modeled it after that. But I guess the car sat in field for many, many years after or before it was finally sold off. So the model I did represented the last time he saw the car. So, anyways, that was a lot of fun to do. Build for you, Kevin, and it seemed pretty popular. I heard from your family. I heard from your
Oh
neighbors,
yeah.
your
Yeah.
daughters. I mean, it was pretty cool, man. You're loved.
Yeah.
You're a loved man. You're very blessed.
Yeah. I'm pretty lucky with that part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That model lives on the turntable with the other one.
Oh,
So
that's great. That's great.
the other turntable, I should say. Yeah, incidentally, that '63 T-Bird you showed was the first car I recognized as a little one. I was born in '61, and I still remember seeing that '63 T-Bird the first time. Those jet tail lights, and man, I was
Yeah.
hooked. I was hooked on cars ever since.
Yeah.
Every time I'd be riding in the car with mom, I'd sit up on the armrest like I was a big guy. She'd get point at different cars, and I'd tell her what they were. She always got a kick out of that. So.
Yeah, I tell you, it was a pretty car. In fact, my family had that. That was a second car, so it was essentially my
Yeah,
mom's car, and it was a red hardtop.
yeah,
And it was just a beautiful car. And then inside, it you felt like you were in an airplane because the
yeah.
console led up to the dash, and you felt like
Oh
you were
yeah,
in the cockpit
yeah,
an aircraft. So, yeah, beautiful car. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
now you
I
good.
remember. My aunt was holding me at the front door when her husband was going to work, and he had that '63 T-Bird with that bright red, man. His was the two-seater with the speed bird, I think they called him or something. It always stuck in my memory. So
Great, yeah.
yeah,
I'll tell you, and if you see me glancing off to my side here a little bit, what I'm doing is occasionally checking in on the comments. Folks, there will be a question and answer session coming up here where we'll take a lot closer look at what you're writing there, and we'll respond because that was one of the reasons I wanted to do a live is to be able to interact with the viewers. Um, but Kevin, before I ask you a couple questions, is there anybody you want to do a shout out to, say hello to, family, friends, anybody?
yeah. I got a bunch of friends on here, even the mailman. My daughter Krista's is
Well, we ain't got time
watching.
for all that.
My
go,
sister
go ahead.
Yvonne, and shout out to everybody. My buddy Tom up in Wycliffe, I believe, and all the YouTube buddies I got out there. Can't forget them. I can't see the comments; they're like this big on my screen.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
when we get to the uh, question and answer part there, I just changed the camera a little bit. Once we get to the question and answer part, we'll take a closer look at what those comments are saying, and I can highlight them too,
yeah,
which will help. And if need be, I'm on a big screen. I have a 27-inch monitor in front of me, so if need be, I can read them off to you.
yeah.
Okay, so hey, let me hit you up with a couple questions here. Uh,
Sure.
I know you built some beautiful stuff, and you're about my age. When did you first start building models?
I'm going to say it had to have been 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
I got a Hubley Model A. I think it was 29 Model A for Christmas. It was the kit, and I told Dad before he passed away he should have bought me Band-Aids with it because those cars had so much flash on them. But I I probably painted that car 5 or 6 times, and that was one thing always aggravated me. My dad about me is he would go get a spray can, and I always had them empty. Paint models and my bike, and I was always fascinated with spray paint, you know.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
my
then
bro. Oh, good, good.
when I was 10 years old, him and I both built the Peterbilt pacemaker. I have a picture of that. It's the big rig. That was
Oh,
1971, so I'd have been 10 years old. Him and I built that over a Christmas holiday. How I still have this picture is beyond me. But I mean, and then from there, I was pretty much hooked, you know.
yeah. My brothers got me into it. I didn't start quite as young as you did. I was definitely a teenager. But
Yeah,
my brothers were a little bit older than me, and they started building first and got
yeah,
me into it. And I
yeah,
got to tell you, I thought I was really like when I thought about getting into the hobby here again, I thought, well, hey, I used to build some pretty nice models. But I
yeah.
have to be totally honest, what I built were hack jobs. I'd be
Oh,
embarrassed
yeah.
to show anybody today.
Well, we all got our share of glue bombs.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so
Yeah,
let me ask you.
before that, mom would buy ivory soap, and I would take it and carve things out of it, cars and little toy guns, and plus I had a toy that floated. So, so
I used to have to take a bite of soap once in a while.
oh yeah, had enough of
Yeah.
that.
Okay, here's another question for you.
Okay,
So, because I mean, your work is just impeccable, but
now you're gonna make me blush.
so when did you decide to start building the highly detailed versions that you're known for, and where did you learn those techniques and get underway doing that?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a little bit of a story behind all that.
Well, I kind of always built models. Uh, Asked my wife about that. I think on our honeymoon, I was working on the Kenworth Aerodyne for a Christmas gift for my dad. You know, the first day we were married, I was messing with that thing, putting decals on it. And then let's see, when I was about 32 ish, I had back surgery, and I figured I'm going to need something to do while I'm healing. So I cleared out the basement, put cabinets in. I had like 30 foot of counter space down there, and I decided I was going to get into building models. Then I found out bare metal foil was the thing. That was like in '93. And then from there on, it just snowballed, you know. Then up till 2004, when I couldn't build anymore, then, you know, it just progressed from there. I kind of turned into the mad scientist with paint, kind of like Rex Barbados, how he experiments with his paint. But I didn't do it all on camera. It was all. I'm surprised I didn't blow her house up. Plus, I
Well,
killed a few of my daughter's pets. I think a lizard and a couple birds died from lacquer.
oh boy.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's pungent stuff. I sprayed some lacquer the other
Oh, yes.
day, and then I went upstairs, and you can smell throughout the house. I'm surprised Debbie just didn't. you know,
Oh, yeah. I
I'm going to
know.
go to acrylics for a while, I think.
I know Roxana didn't like it. There was there was times it stunk so bad in here we almost had to sleep outside. So, until I got my booth put in, but then it would take. It's such a good booth. I'd have to have makeup air in the basement. And it would pull all the heat out of the house or air conditioning. You know, it's it kind of progressed from there.
Right.
Yeah, as they'll see when we go through these cars, we're going to show and we talk about the different kind of paints. I got the first one back in the hobby in '93 ish. I think right after my surgery. Once I was able to get up out of bed and move around some. I even had my daughter down in there at the bench working with me. I think she did a Firebird and the Prowler, and I think a Chevy long bed pickup, you know. She even
That's
striped her little Camaro, you know.
that's Krista, right?
Yeah, Krista.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she used to go to school with her nails all painted pretty from the airbrush. Her friends would get all jealous, and we'd sit down there with the airbrush and paint her nails. And I don't have a problem painting nails. Well, what the heck? It's good practice, you know.
Yeah, you didn't look like that kind of guy to me when I was
Yeah.
at your house there, but okay.
And there's uses for fingernails on models too, as you'll see
I
a
know. I'm
couple of
interested.
builds.
I'm interested in that. So when we get to that, I want you to
Yeah,
elaborate a little bit because
couple of the
I never
builds
thought of
have
that.
couple of builds have headlight visors made out of fingernails, you know. Uh, even if they're fake fingernails, they're still fingernails, you know.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, before I get to the next question, do you think I ought to do another trivia one question?
Sure. See if I can guess it.
Okay, let's put it up here.
Well, the Falcon was originally a Futura, wasn't it?
I honestly, you got me there. I think that yes, it was a Futura. I'm sorry, the Sprint came out in '63.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Futura was the first one. All
Yeah.
right.
I'm gonna
Uh,
hold my lip. I know what this one is, but let somebody else guess it. I don't want to.
I forget
Maybe
who wanted Mopars on there, but here's your Mopar.
while we're waiting for an answer, maybe we could afford to have some a bozo button made for prizes. You won Ken's
Uh,
modeling and retirement trivia.
okay, Chester Lewis, '69 Barracuda. Yep,
Yep.
Chester was the first. A couple of you were right on the model, but you didn't have the year right. So,
Yeah, I would have
uh,
got the year wrong.
yeah, a lot of fun. I'm in kind of. I kind of thought that would be a kind of a fun thing to
Oh,
put on the show here. Okay, next question I had for you is what's your favorite part of the build process?
oh my. I would have to say over everything would be bare metal foil
Really?
and
Okay.
the body work and painting process. Once the body's painted, I almost lose interest in them. You know, that's why I kind of fly through the interiors and motors and stuff. I never opened the hoods on them anyway. I mean, I have detailed engines and like the 58 olds that has like 8 different colors in the interior for a curbside model. That's pretty detailed interior, you know.
Yeah.
But I would have to say paint probably first and then bare metal foil. Without the foil, I don't think you even have a accurate model. Most of the trim on old cars is either stainless or aluminum anyway, you know.
Yeah.
It always sucked using the tester silver paint on the trim, you know, to me. So
I enjoy the process, and I didn't do that when I was a kid. But when I returned to the hobby, I started doing the bare metal foil. My
yeah,
problem is I don't breathe.
right, right.
When I have to hold my breath a lot.
Oh yeah, on the days you're gonna foil, you definitely don't want to have a bunch of caffeine, you know, that's
Right.
for sure.
But my
And
favorite's painting. Painting is definitely my
oh
favorite thing.
yeah, I
In
think a
fact,
mistake.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think a mistake some people make too is they wax their body before they wax and polish their body before they bare metal foil, and that stuff don't stick good to wax.
That's a
So
very good point. You can polish, but don't
yeah,
wax it.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sanding the trim's a good idea, so the roughness don't telegraph through the foil because it will, you know. But
My only thing about the paint is the favorite part, but like that Mustang AMT that I showed a little earlier, I put my heart and soul into copying the car exactly the way I had it when I had the real
right,
car. And I'm looking at that and it's like, oh, that's beautiful. This car is looking great. But the kit is so crappy that when
right,
you build it all out, you're disappointed. You put all that work into a beautiful paint job, but a bad
yeah,
kit's still a bad kit. Some of them you can
yeah,
make look really good. Like you know how to make a bad kit look good. So
yeah. I got a few that are you'll see. Some of them coming back in aren't really anything you would brag about. I mean, even my worst one, I think, won like a third place in Monroe, Michigan, or something like that. But they didn't age well, that's for sure. That
great.
that's probably one of the first ones I'm going to show. It's pretty bad, you know.
Great.
But
Um, excuse me. What's your favorite paint type? Is it a lacquer, enamel? Do you have a preference of your favorite?
I would say probably nail polish because
Nail polish. Okay.
You can buy it so cheap. It dries fast. You don't have to clear coat it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but to me, it's the experience of experimenting. Did I say that right? Experiments, yeah, of
Yeah,
experimenting, being a mad scientist and seeing what works with what. And it didn't take long to figure out you're not putting lacquer over enamel.
yeah.
As a rule, I know you can get away with it sometimes, but
Okay. And by the way, folks, Kevin did a real nice write up on how to paint. He takes you all the way from body prep to painting to color sand and buffing his paint. And he wrote and typed that all out years ago, right?
yeah,
That's
I think the last revised edition was April of 2000 is the date on it.
okay.
I've scribbled in some hand notes. I think I made a few changes when I sent you yours. So
Okay. Well,
added a few things.
I have that on PDF format.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants a copy of that, feel free. All you have to do is kick me an email to modelbuildingandretirement@gmail.com. And my email is also in the description of the video there. But kick me an email and I'll send you that file. In fact, you were asking for the file yourself there, Kevin. I got to remember to
Yeah.
get you that. So,
Yeah. I've had
uh,
a few people ask me for it. I figured to save myself a stamp, I could just lead them in your direction or I could mail them. I think I got like 20 copies left.
okay,
But
great.
that was done in my computer at work down at the cabinet shop. They probably would have appreciated knowing that, but I stayed after hours and typed all that up, and it's that computer's sitting in the basement somewhere. I'm sure it's no good now, but
Right.
so I'll have to
Okay.
keep a hard copy and copy it in case we run out. So
Okay. Yeah, but I got it, and now I got to send you one too, so you
yeah,
can send it to anybody requesting it. I know you got a lot of friends on here. I'm seeing people popping in here that I don't recognize, and I do think that they know you because
and
everybody
one
knows you.
and one thing people got to realize that was I wrote that back 20 was it 26 years ago. So the products pretty much stay the same. And I have zero experience with the water-based paint, which you're probably going to cover that part, I would assume. So every time I tried to use the Tamiya or whatever, it gunked up my airbrush. I didn't want to take a chance on ruining my one of my good airbrushes. So
Okay, we got at Fuels Models. Are we allowed to poke fun here before I go too
you
far?
bet you are, Brian.
Yeah.
Time for payback, right?
Okay. And I see your daughter is on board here too. So, okay.
I can
Uh,
I can make myself look bad enough on my own.
all right.
I could take it. I'm a big man, sorta.
Okay. What do you say we do another trivia, and then I think maybe we'll get into some question and answers and talk to the viewers here.
Good
Okay.
idea.
So let's do another one. Let's do another car.
Good idea. Glad you thought of it. Oh yeah.
Okay. Name the make, model, and year.
I'm gonna hold my lip again. Pretty obvious, huh?
I made them pretty easy.
I know it's got two numbers for the model year
All
and
right.
three letters.
Buff, you got it right.
Hey, Buff, good job.
Buff DeCampo got it right. So
Yeah, that's my buddy
pretty quick.
Buff.
Yep. I watch your channel. In
Yeah,
fact, many of you guys, I watch your channels.
he's got a great YouTube channel. Him and Kim, buddy, she's quite the mechanic.
Great.
I've
Well,
grown to, I've kind of grown to appreciate those people.
you know what? I was going to go to question and answer, but I think you had some builds that you were going to show and
Oh yeah,
talk about your
yep,
paints a little bit. So why don't you do that? And then, folks, we're going to do question and answer for either myself or Kevin. We're here to
yeah.
answer your
Maybe.
questions. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe while I get the camera set, you can put me backstage. Let me get her aimed up, and that
okay.
way I'm not making everybody sick dropping my camera and or my phone and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then we'll focus on each car as we go, and I'll just kind of narrate each
Okay.
piece,
And I think
starting from
you're
the earliest.
going to be muted for me backstage, so I'll kind of watch the little icon, and when I see
Okay.
your camera framed up on something, I'll bring it back in. Does that sound like a plan?
Hey, work for me.
Alrighty. Okay. See you in just a moment here. Okay, so I'm solo. Brother Dave, you were a little bit late, but nope, it was a 64 Pontiac GTO. I think 65 looks similar, but that was a 64. So, okay, King Bob. Oh, I brought up the wrong one here. So King Bob, Mr. Hobby leveling thinner works with nail polish. Okay, great. I think Kevin's going to explain a little bit about that. Uh, but that leveling thinner works with every solvent paint that I know of. Um, I think a lot of people are using acetone too for the nail polish. So I haven't tried that. I'm gonna have to learn that yet. So okay. Uh, Kevin looks like he's almost ready, but not quite yet. How am I doing with the navigation on all this stuff, folks? I'm trying my best. Yeah, I've heard that the Vallejo takes a different type of thinner. I have some Vallejo paint, but I've never even really tried it yet because I like to try to group my thinners and all that, so I don't have one for every kind of paint system. So to me, it's just too much of a pain in the neck if I have to have a special thinner for everybody's paint. So, John, you're right. Mr. Hobby does not work with Kaleido because Kaleido is a water based. They do have their own thinner, but for the most part, their stuff is all pre-thinned already, so you can just spray it right out of the get-go. Although I have found there's certain cases where it just lays on a little bit dry for me, and they have what they call a retarder thinner, and just a couple drops into your bowl will just slow down that dry a little bit and allow that to smooth out a little bit better and level out. So thanks for bringing that point up, John. Appreciate it. All right, it looks like Kevin's ready. We're going to bring him back in. Kevin, are you ready?
I think, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me get this centered up. Oh, wrong way. The
Yep.
other way.
Looks like
Try
a
to get it.
58 Chevy. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can zoom it. Huh. The oh man.
Yeah, I don't think the zoom works while you're on a dedicated camera with this StreamYard.
Well, I'll get it eventually. Sorry, guys. I thought I was ready.
It's your other left.
I'll do like Glenn does and just make everybody seasick. Well,
Yeah. Yep, Buff, you got it right. 58 Impala. All right.
yeah, this was man, why am I having trouble with this?
Opposite, like backing a trailer. Go
I know.
opposite of the way you want to go.
The tripod ain't wanting to cooperate here.
There you go. Stop right there. You're centered right there.
Well, the backdrop ain't in the right place, but who cares, right?
Yeah. Hey, we're just an amateur show here, so don't worry.
That that close enough? Can you see it good?
Yeah, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, this is my first build back after my hospital stay. Let me straighten this up. This was done in tester spray cans in classic white. And of course, the foil after I discovered that. And this is for the age of the kid, I thought it was pretty good, but it definitely didn't age well. That was the tester's clear lacquer in there, and you can see how it's yellowed and tried to buff it out, but there ain't no hope for it. Um, I don't know if anybody has a question about that, but this would have been one I would have heated the can up in warm or hot tap water. Thanks, Sluggo. Now I can see the comments. Guess I should leave my glasses off. Trying to think of what else I could tell you about it. And since this was built, I think I put American Satco tires on it. And I think the best this one ever got was second place up in Detroit and Monroe, Michigan, and something in the Toledo Fenders and Friends show. So, I don't know. Has anybody got any questions on this one, or shall we move on to the next?
Yeah, I think we'll move on. I am putting some comments up there. Mostly everybody's liking what they're seeing. So
Okay. Yeah, this one's pretty rough, but it's a shame it didn't age well. That one I built was my nephew Brad. He was worked on the 1950 Snap Tight, Fred's favorite, the Snap kits. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. This is the 57 Chevy I did for AMT for their box art. This would have been done probably in 99 or 2000. And this is the lacquer Larkspur, and I can't remember the weight on it, but this is just straight lacquer. This is the lacquer paint we used on our Kinko's cabinets. That was our main account with the in our cabinet shop. Uh, let's see. I think it was Steve Goldman who gave me the contact with AMT to send some of my builds there. Once they seen my builds, they wanted me to do other stuff for them. I think you've already shown the semi trucks that I did for them. Uh, you'll see with the when I bring the Cameo up that how much better the automotive finishes hold up better than the testers. And small dent on the hood. Yeah, probably this is probably 30. Well, what would it be 33 years old since 1993 or 95. Good shot at me there, John.
I wonder, is he talking about that, or is he thinking that I put the dent on there?
That would be the Firebird. That's your baby now.
Yeah,
You you get to own that one.
it's funny. After I
Uh,
sat on the hood of your car, you ended up getting rid of it and giving it to me. So
I don't see a dent, but it wouldn't surprise me with AMT. They always have the hood scoop cutout that always annoys you when it goes back through. I'm not seeing it on this kit though. I always thought that was so silly why they made that cutout in the bottom of a hood. Like we can't figure out where to cut a hole in a hood. But that one's basically box stock. And this one I switched over to American Satco tires. If you look on the kit box, they kind of blurred that out when they took the photographs for the box. Okay, and then we'll go to the next.
yeah, that's one thing I didn't mention to the fans, but the ones that know you probably know. But yeah, Kevin actually did the builds for box art on AMT model kits for several of them, which is what an honor that is. You got to be a pretty good builder to be chosen for that job.
Yeah, and this is the you can see the front tires are even squatting from sitting so many years. This was built. Oh, that's AMT Cameo that's on the box art, but you can see how bad it's yellowed since then. Just under the weight, the front wheels are squatting. And yeah, this one had the notorious windshield that didn't fit, but it was hidden underneath the visor. Now this just came out of storage. That's why it looks so yellow. I'm afraid to clean it. With that being a yeah, just don't curb the rims. I cred. Krista, I mean, that's a little jab at me. She drove my Astro van after I got my new wheels, and she hit a curb and scarred them all up, and I yelled at her. But I guess the turntable's going to bring it around. But If you look underneath, this one's all box stock too. Let me dump the hood off so I don't drop it. They do get better from here. That was done with a rattle can too. That was basically classic white, even under the hood yellowed if you look. So it's not just from cigarette smoke in the house and things. Weird how that turned so yellow. I think it might have been their tester's clear that they used. And then I always use the dull coat in the bed, the interiors. And let's see. From there, we go to this rattle can job. I still can't believe this was rattle can myself. This is one of my favorites out of my collection.
That is rattle can.
Yes.
Okay, so hey, any of you guys joining the hobby there? You know, I do airbrush exclusively, but take a look at this. I'll go big here. Every time I go big and show Kevin stuff, though, I automatically mute my mic. So let's get a closer look here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, this was done with Tester's Classic Black, and then it has their clear on it. And now, since that was built, I had to buy another kit and redo the hood because the plastic warped so bad. And if you look at this one close, the strip down the center of a hood is actually a piece of fret material from a guitar. That's how I was able to get past the hood being warped. This thing's missing a few parts, like the luggage rack and the cornering lights up here on the fenders and things. But you can definitely get a decent paint job out of a rattle can just by heating it up and being patient with it. This thing, I probably used a third of a sheet of foil on it. All the edges around all the fenders and running boards, and a little trim around the vents on the hood and all that stuff. And most of these parts are pinned on, so when they break off or come off, I can just stick them back on. Yeah, this was actually Chet. This was a replica of Al Jolson's car. They used to have on a display at the Harem Museum in Las Vegas, I think. And this was the tester's kit. Yeah, the G string, you'll see that on some models with the antenna. That's funny. And this one also has real walnut veneer for the interior, the dashboard, and the door panels. I don't know about how much you'll be able to see of it, but and then you can see the spare luggage rack and stuff inside where it fell off. But, and that was just the wood edge banding you buy at like Home Depot. I get that for the wood veneer. Plus, it has adhesive on the back.
And that's beautiful. I would have never guessed rattle can.
Yeah, this was my first best to show car when I went to Autorama back in '95.
Wow.
It sat on a scratch built trailer with a big old F350 dually pulling it, which that model's kind of really busted up. I went up to get it out of storage to show you the whole thing, but it's not even. It'd probably take me a week to get it back together. You might know my turntable would start bouncing, being a microwave turntable motor. I make my own little turntables out of those.
I never thought of that. I've thrown a few of those away. So
Yeah, when you turn it off, it'll reverse. It'll go the other direction. But that's pretty cool though. And then after rattle can, I'm thinking this next one is my first airbrush car. This was done.
thanks, Weasel.
This car was done with one of those cheap Harbor Freight plastic airbrushes and a adapter you put on your on a spare tire. I had a big truck tire I used for air when I first started airbrushing. I didn't have a compressor yet, and this is straight Deltron, single stage. I'm thinking it's what did I write down here? I'm trying to dig back in my memory and figure out the color of this. Yeah, PPG base Wimbledon white with China red, and it's all Deltron finishes. And I believe I foiled this after I sanded with the micro mesh clear up to 12,000 grit. And yeah, that was the one with the cheap airbrush. And
Beautiful, beautiful
in
work.
this one, the chassis is all brush painted. Well, I painted the red with the airbrush, and then I went around and painted the frame with the brush. That's all Tester's square bottle black paint, thinned out. And I've also used like the one shot pinstripers tape for stuff like that too. Yeah, you can see the wheels are even going crooked. Then I shaved the grill down from the back where you could open it up. If you look, you can see through instead of going to the expense of photo etch parts. You can tell I put a lot of time in these.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, I
would
broke
you
the
believe we're at an hour already, buddy?
really.
Yeah.
Guess I better step it up, huh?
We
Yeah,
knew
I
that
just
was going to fly, didn't we?
yeah, I just broke the ornament off the hood. Oh well, stick it back on later. And then
Tell you what, why don't you show us one more and then we'll go to question and answers.
well, I got one after this. I think it's important to show because,
Okay.
and then I'll just put different cars up while we're answering questions.
Wow. Okay. Look at that one. That's pretty.
Okay, this is AMT's notorious bad front header panel fit and all. I glued everything on before paint, of course, and then had to. I think the front header panel on this thing was like 2 millimeters too wide for the body. And this is painted with the square bottle Tester's paint, thin with lacquer thinner, and has 2K hardener in it. And the stripes are painted with the Tester square bottle enamel with hardener in that too. Then the red lines, I took a gel pen and painted the little groove with white and then the red. But you can tell I did the decals on the side for the GT 350. Yeah, let's see. Open the hood scoop up. And this one has my stretch sprue plug wires on it. I like to use that better than the actual wire. They don't kink and look goofy like regular wires do. But this is just to show people how you can experiment with the Tester's paint and put stuff in it to make it better. And then the Shelby taillight's got to get in the frame. Now I'm starting to shake. Guess I better take a drink and pop here. But this last one's I think it's important to shoot down the Rust-Oleum criticisms.
Oh, definitely show me that one.
Now this is done with Rust-Oleum out of a quart can, not a spray can. Now it's going to roll off of there. All I did was thin down it's a hunter green Rust-Oleum paint like you'd use on your patio furniture. I mixed it up with thinner, put 2K hardener in it, let that dry for a little bit, and then I sprayed it with my Omni Clear with the hardener with pearl in it. If you look, I don't know if you can see the pearl in the light or not, but that has white star pearl and gold mixed in the first couple colors of the clear. or coats of the clear. I'm sorry. And I always do that when I first start clearing a car. If I'm gonna pearl it, I put the pearl in the clear, and then I clear coat on top of that. Yep, adult show and tell. That's right, Krista. I'm not going to say her nickname on screen. I don't want to embarrass her, unless she wants me to. But yeah, my other BMW, James Testers, wanted it, so I made a trade with him. He's got the Tamiya kit that I did with nail polish. It's the same color as the Willys,
Yeah,
which you,
James is a heck of a builder too. He
oh
refers
man,
to you as his
yeah,
mentor.
yeah. He kind of made my head swell the other night. He had a problem with his lacquer crack, and he texted me trying to figure out what happened. And I think we finally come to the conclusion he might have waxed it too soon or something and cracked the lacquer. But who knows?
Okay,
It,
Krista gave you permission.
her name is CRID. That's what I call her for short. When she was little, her grandpa called her Critter because we always were at the cabin and she was always out shooting critters. So, and that ended up being her nickname. So we call her Crit around here.
Okay, that's a lot tamer. I was thinking it was going to be something a little worse.
Oh no. If people wonder why I shorten her name and just call her Crit, that's why.
Hey, Slugo's here saying, "Too bad you're not doing it anymore." But did I hear you right that you brought one out of the mothballs that you never finished? And
Yeah, I plan on putting the body on the turntable. It's been curing since 2004, so I think it's probably well cured enough. I,
yeah,
I got it brought out of storage, had it on the bench a couple of times, and haven't had really a chance to get into building it. But one of the trades I made with James got damaged pretty bad and from UPS throwing the package. So I kind of proved to myself I got that put back together without botching it up. So I'm going to give it an attempt to get back building again. So,
that would be
uh,
really great. That'd be really great. And
but what will,
the day you do, let me know because I'm just going to hang up my channel.
well, my original idea was I was going to send you the kit that I brought down and see if you'd want to finish building it for me.
Well, that would be an honor. I'd be willing to do
Yeah,
that, but I'd rather
but
you do it.
if it gets to the point where I can't, well, right now I can't do a whole lot. Even just getting glue out in the house, it makes Roxanne sick. You
Yeah, I
know,
understand that.
she's got, that she's pretty sensitive to the chemical smells anymore, and me also. Just working on resin, I was sick for a week when I did that
Ew.
Oldsmobile for that guy.
Yeah.
Just breathing that resin dust in. I mean, I felt like I had the full out flu for at least a week. So while you're doing questions, I'll just pop a car up here and let it sit and spin instead of sitting there looking at me. Might make it a little more interesting. Who wants to look at me, right? Maybe I'll come back on screen after that.
All
But
right. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another name that make, model, and year. Now this one's a tough one. If anybody gets this one, I should give away a prize. So
while you're
okay.
waiting, while you're waiting for an answer, this one's another nail polish job. After that's off the screen.
So what paint family would you call nail polish?
For the most part, it's lacquer. If you read the ingredients on the bottle, if it has toluene in it as a rule, I kind of figure that's lacquer. But they do have what they call enamel, but I wouldn't go putting it on plastic direct. Don't ask me how I know. But
Okay. Scott, no. Weasel, no. Slugo, no.
can I say it?
Sure.
38 Chevy or LaSalle?
Not a 38.
37.
Nope.
39,
Nope.
36.
Yeah,
Gotta be
but
a 30
it's a 36 Chevy, but you still haven't got the model right.
deluxe.
It is Master Deluxe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was a tough one, but I'm impressed that you got that.
The fella at Cold War Motors has one. I watch him all the time. Yeah, this one here's the nail polish. This
Okay.
this was this was used for trying to remember what advertisement Scale Auto back in the early 2000s. This one was used in the back of the magazine. I want to say Protec, but the taillights on that are the exhaust outlets from a '59 Cadillac. They happened to be laying on my bench when I was finishing this. I thought they looked really cool as a taillight. Photo etch grill, and this has the fingernail headlight visors. They're just fingernails with bare metal foil on it. If you look close.
Now, did you mention clear coat? Is that a 2K clear? Or?
No, this is just nail polish buffed out.
No kidding.
No clear.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah,
I'm
a lot of people think that it will distort the metallic in the paint, and then this has the Stinger hood scoop from the '67 Corvette on it. I always thought that was kind of neat. It kind of warped the hood. It don't fit right now, but you
Now,
know,
do you have to thin it a lot?
uh, usually 1 to 1. What I usually do is I empty out the nail polish bottle as much as I can and flush it with acetone. And while you're flushing the acetone out, you just pour it in your mixing cup. You end up with equal parts. Sometimes you may have to add more. It has to be 100% acetone, though. You don't want to use nail polish remover because that's full of oil to keep ladies' fingers from chipping and cracking and
I see.
whatever. Yeah, I tried thinning nail polish with nail polish remover, and it didn't work out too well. Plus, it has a lot of water in it.
Great.
But
As
and
far as
then
that
from
trivia question, folks, in case you missed it, Kevin was the one that got that right. It was a 36 Chevy Master Deluxe.
yeah, so I get a bozo button, right?
Right. If I survive for another show, if you guys think this is a good show, maybe I will get a prize together next time. So, all
And
right.
this one here is another. I know you said you didn't want to see anymore, but this is another one nail polish. This nail polish with gold nail polish for the airbrush stripes. I think no, I take that back. That's just gold pearl in the clear. And then
Pretty. That's pretty.
and then this does have 2K clear on it. But this is just basically a snap kit.
Yeah.
The last year or so when I was building, I pretty much stayed with curbside slammer just to keep things moving. And 'cause I was at that point, I was starting to get bored, and everything started turning into a major job, you know. And and then we got now we
I have
got
another
our
car up on the screen here too. No surge, it's not, but you're getting close. Okay, wait a minute. Who? John? John, you're very close, but it's not an Impala. Biscayne. Yes, Scott, you got it right. 62 Chevy Biscayne.
yay. I was going to say it, but I don't want to win twice. My
Good
my
job.
cousin my cousin Nancy had a couple of those. Okay,
Good
but
job.
we could just let this sit and spin, or if anybody has questions about it.
Yeah.
This is a modified die cast. This was a Maisto die cast. I disassembled it and dunked it in aircraft stripper, and then this was duplicolor lacquer only, no clear.
Nice.
Rattle can like you'd buy at AutoZone or whatever.
Oh, Kevin, every time you show me stuff, it makes me have to learn how to build better because I have to step my game up.
Well,
It's like going to a show.
there's a lot of people out there I wouldn't even put my stuff on the table next to.
I'll tell you.
Clay Kemp for one.
I won.
Right.
I won first, second, and third place in 3 different categories at the Cleveland Model Show not too long ago, and I was very proud. But I couldn't believe it because the builds that I was up against.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. And it wasn't because of who I was or anything. Not that I am anybody special, but at that show, your name was not displayed with the kit, so they were going on the appearance. So, hey, let's get to the question and answer because we are running. I tried to keep it at an hour, but we did agree that if things were looking good, that we'd continue on for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a question and answer session, folks, because I do want to engage you, and you can ask me or Kevin any questions, and we'll do the best job we can to answer them, and I'll try to keep up with you.
One question I'd like to ask for everybody out there and answer for myself is putting hardener in lacquer. I know the answer to it, but I know that it's possible because we had production lacquer at our cabinet shop that we used. It was catalyzed, but it came pre-mixed. Man, why is that doing this? Keeps throwing it off center. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way.
Yeah, Weasel, if there was a master class on shows, then the rest of us would have a chance in the other categories.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my biggest arguments about the shows is why they will not put the names on the entry forms. I think that does a disservice to each builder. I know there's people out there that have the reasons for it, but
Okay, Dennis has a question for me, asking me what my favorite build is to date. That's really a tough one because I love the recreations of cars from my past. And with that being said, I think my favorite build was the 67 Olds 442 that was in butternut yellow.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you. My brother had that car. He had some rear end damage on it, but the car, same exact color. And in fact, that was the correct color code. So that was inspired by my brother's car. And so I'm gonna say that was my favorite, but there's a lot of them. It might be easy to say which one's my least favorite.
Oh yeah.
Which is the Dodge Viper. And maybe this Mustang. Well, the Mustang I just did, it's a favorite because it's reminiscent of the look of the car I had, and that's what I wanted. I wanted something that recreates that memory, like that 65 Galaxy does for you. All right, what else we got here? Okay, a couple people were saying that they put hardener in their enamels. Yeah, we do too.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to shoot down the criticisms of Rust-Oleum with putting hardener in it.
Okay, so Buff put duplicolor rattle can paint and a craze all over. You know what? That kind of brings me up to a point because in my video that I just put out on New Year's Day, where I'm painting that Mustang, I talked about the lacquer primer that I used, and some people came back at me right away because they recognized it. I said that you can use lacquer primer and top coat with anything, which is true. But then I went on to say that you cannot top coat lacquer, or I'm sorry, you cannot put lacquer on top of either enamel or water-based clear. It's not exactly true. It's dangerous, and I don't recommend doing it. But if you do it very carefully, you can.
Yeah, you can get away with it if you're careful.
You have to be careful because the solvents from the lacquer are usually hotter than whatever paint you used before, and it could eat away. The biggest tip there is spray extremely light on your first coat and let that kind of flash because it kind of creates a barrier.
Right.
And once you get that little bit of light coats on there, oh, see, Kevin's agreeing with me, so it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Huh? That gives
Yeah.
me some validity.
Well, I want to say it most likely. I'm going to guess that he put it on a Ford hood and they have enamel on their hoods, or it could have been a contaminant that reacted with the Duplicolor lacquer.
Thanks, Rob. He likes my Mustang too. So that
Yeah,
that that build video will be coming out in a day or two.
I'm kind of anxious to see it, the finished build. I kind of got a preview of it, but this is the Luma Coupe from Boyd, and this is also nail polish. I, that had an awful seam down the bottom, so I put evergreen belly pan on it. This also doesn't have any clear. Another slammer, curbside.
John, where's your translator? Do you mean captions?
Me, me.
Okay.
I'm usually his translator.
Okay.
I can't chat because I'm on camera.
Yeah.
He's always called me his translator.
Okay.
He's the fellow that's deaf.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know that. I know that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were trying to set up closed caption. I don't know if it's working, John. I did the best I can. I went on YouTube to set it up there, but it said you don't have a video because obviously the stream hadn't happened yet. So
So
if you can't follow it now, hopefully once it uploads to YouTube, you can go back and watch it later. I'm hoping.
we did try to get it set up with closed caption just for John, but um, let's
Okay,
see.
here comes the question. What would you consider as a good paint seller that doesn't get tacky for like an action figure paint?
You want my answer first or yours?
I don't have an answer,
You
so
don't.
so I'll take yours.
Okay. Now, if you're using resin, I always use epoxy primer with a hardener in it or any other slippery surface, and it's a good sealer. Now, the epoxy components in it will grab any slick surface like resin after it's clean, of course, and it'll work on plastic too, but you got to put it on light.
John reads lips.
Oh, good.
Good.
Guess I should get back on screen. He can see my toothless face. I just broke a tooth off the other night, so
Now, I hope it's not going to embarrass Kevin, but if you've seen him in some other feeds, he usually has those cameras sitting low and aiming up. I told him that I was going for a little more professional look and didn't want to see nose hairs, so he adjusted his camera just for me.
yeah, that's why I broke out the tripod. So when I come back on screen, I'll raise it way back up. So now
Good, John. Good.
I'm gonna take this Luma coupe off and put my last build on that I built for Tom Bogo. This was a 2 or 3 month project. It's a resin curbside kit. And I think a lot of people have seen it.
Okay, well, you're getting ready there, Kevin. Justin is asking me, as far as acrylics, what are my thoughts versus Kaleido and Createx? Funny you should ask because those are the only two besides craft acrylics, which I have sprayed too. But between Kaleido and Createx, as far as the colors go, I would do either because both spray well, and I would top coat them with a 2K clear because you can do that with water-based clear. The thing is when I'm doing my videos, in fact, a lot of people come back to me saying, well, you could do 2K top clear on watercolor. But the videos that I did versus acrylics versus the solvent paints was for the people that can't have the fumes. So I didn't mention 2K clear on top of water-based. But anyways, getting back to the question, the colors themselves on Createx and Kaleido, I like them both, and they both spray extremely well. But I think the big difference is the clears, or sometimes they refer to it as the varnish. The Kaleido's varnish, they're clear. is far superior to Createx. Createx, you have to be extremely careful. If it starts getting a little bit milky or blue, you've wet it down a little too much, and you're going to have to wait a nice long time, maybe 20, 30 minutes before you do another coat. The Createx clear sprays so much more like a lacquer clear, even if not an enamel clear. So my thoughts are Kaleido, not just because they're a sponsor, but I truly do like it. And if you watched my video about Kaleido standing up to lacquer-based paints or enamels, you can see that finish really does stand up to what I'm talking about. It's, you know, it's all in the appearance. You know, if you can see it, it's different than just saying it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the paint I'm going to have to move to when I get ready to paint the next build in. Would be the Kaleido. If it's truly fume free, then that's probably what I'll do. That's one of the big obstacles that's keeping me from building. You know, that and the physical pain of sitting at the bench and all that stuff. But
I see what you got on the turntable, and I want to talk about that in just a minute because that one's worth taking a closer look at because I know the story. But Mike at Pops Models has a question about how to strip the Kaleido if you mess up. Excuse me. I haven't tried it yet, but Craig over at Craig's Corner, and I know he's in your neck of the woods, I do believe, Mike, he successfully stripped one recently. And I remember him saying that he was having trouble doing it. So I'm not sure what he ended up using. He said I think he was using Purple Power, and he says it wasn't stripping. So
well,
I don't have the answer for that.
James Testers did a video. He was experimenting with the Kaleido, and he was at the booth and didn't like the way it was laying down. And he went over to his sink and rinsed it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was a desperate act, but you know, it worked.
So if you catch it before it cures, you know, I'm sure the Purple Power brake fluid would do it. You know.
Yeah, maybe brake fluid for sure. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah. If it's still wet and right in your booth, and it just happened, like James had some runs and all kinds of problems, and he immediately ran to a sink. So
Yeah.
if you get it that quick, you can do it.
Yeah.
But the stuff dries up fairly quick, so I'm not sure if
Yeah.
just washing in water would work after even 10 minutes.
Now, if you're getting into your clear session and your base is already starting to kick, which you really should do your clear while your base is still tacky. I know that's the way it is in the 1-to-1 world. You gotta make sure that you don't wait too long to put your clear on. That's why I always put a wash coat of clear on right after my base. You know, a real thin coat of clear to foil on. Otherwise, you could end up with it peeling and flaking later. I'm sure somebody would argue that point, but I've always tried to put a wash coat of clear on right away when I'm base coat clear coat. You know.
Right. Okay, so King Bob says 91% alcohol. I've heard of that too. So
Yeah,
okay.
that'll do it.
Once again, we're kind of pushing the envelope on time. I don't want this to get too lengthy and bore everybody to death, but I see what you got on the turntable. If you can give us a real brief story on that one, because that is a beautiful build, and I'm going to mute myself and show you full screen on that build there, Kevin.
Yeah, this was yeah, I see my camera weird. Um this was a commission build I did. Oh, I want to say I delivered it to the guy in April of 2000. He was the owner of Lakeside Collision up in Wickliffe in Cleveland, Ohio. He had the actual car and he wanted a replica built of it. So I went up there, took pictures of it, made sure I had plenty of pictures for the license plates. The plates you actually see on that car are the same ones he had on the actual car. I just cut them out of the photograph. Um, did I say this was a 2-month project for a curbside? Yeah. All the chrome was fitted, sanded, polished, and sent out to the little motor car company. Let's see, miles and miles of bare metal foil. The luggage rack is scratch built. And the antenna you see there, I think it was Sluggo that said something about the G string from a guitar. This is the one that has like 5 different color interior. I did the base color and then I painted different colors of masking tape in different colors to get all the seat patterns. I think it has like 5 colors inside. And then around all the welding around the seats, I bare metal foil because that car had chrome seat covers. The little welting that went around the edges of the seats. And let's see. Shoot, this car even has the body color painted on the hubcaps. That was fun to do. And this was took 2 resin bodies, and I think I used up 2 sedan or 4-door promo bodies to build this car. I had to cut it in between the front and the back doors here and piece this back together. The reason for doing that, these side spears were molded badly on the resin, and the promo had these nice chrome parts here, including the headlight trim and buckets. That was a big reason for changing that. And I added parts box mirrors to it, wipers. Now, if you're looking at the back bumper, the tail lights were in the wrong place on the bumpers. They had to be cut off and repositioned. Um, and this actually is paint supplied by Tom, the customer. He had some touch up for his real car. It's Mountain Haze and Frost White, I believe. And a bad story about this car, his real car was burned up in his house fire. So he went out and bought another car, restored it. Now he's wanting to have me build his restored car for him. So that's the story on this model. And this was
Great.
also in Model Cars magazine, and I think in 2000. You'd have to go back and look at the video to see what year it was. It was a 1-page article edited by Jim Keeler. But
Yeah, I love it. It's just so unique. I've never seen one like it,
oh, it's
and I've seen it in person, folks. This thing is so beautiful. The clarity in the video isn't as good, but okay. Hey, you got a question here from Slugo. Do you like building mostly box stock?
yes,
Yes.
box stock. Box stock to me was always one of the toughest classes to win in if you're going to go to contests because there's so many creative things you can do. That's why I started making my spark plug wires out of the sprue out of the kit so I could get away with keeping it box stock and have it wired. I've even ground up cardboard from the box to use for flocking to keep it box stock, you
Now
know.
that's pretty cool. Talk about bending the rules, but you're not
And
bending
then
them.
and then when I took my 60 Chevy to an IPMS show and I had the stretch sprue laying next to the car and the judges were scratching their head trying to decide whether to give me first place or the next guy. And that was the deciding factor, you know. But because the other guy he didn't have any wires at all, you know. It's all of the details what you can do with box stock. I mean, you could even whittle parts out of the sprue if you want to. I
Yeah,
mean,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for showing the bills there, Kevin. Dennis, thank you very much. Yeah, technically it is my second live, but it's my first official live.
I
Uh,
guess I
a-
guess we could finish off with the motto I stopped on. I'll put the body on the turntable and then you can finish out from there. The motto I'm going to be working on next.
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put it up on the screen. We can keep talking.
Okay.
Let's see. Chester Lewis, I want to try doing ghost flames with ghost pearls in the clear. How much micro pearls should he add to the clear? Any thoughts on that one? I don't think it takes much, does it?
Yeah, you're talking maybe a fingernail circle and the little bit of clear you're going to be doing. I don't know how you'd even measure it. Maybe a third of a teaspoon. You'd have to play with it, but usually I do have some ghost flames, but now this Corvette was supposed to be ghost, but I used the gold pearl and I put a little heavy in the clear. So you'd have to, I mean, it only takes a few flakes to show ghost flames, you know.
When I used to live out in Arizona, we had a nice dry climate, so I can paint real stuff in the garage. So I painted a couple cars in my
Right?
garage and a lot of motorcycles. And
Yeah.
I used to add the pearl to the clear and do ghost flames. And it was amazing when you mix up a whole quart of paint for painting something
Right.
1 to 1. It was less than it was probably less than a quarter of a teaspoon there
Oh yeah.
of pearl.
Yeah. Yeah. My
So
favorite for ghost flames is House of Color White Diamond Pearl, they call it. It's called Black Gold is their brand. Yeah, I mean, if you put a
hi,
few
Paul.
flakes too much in there, it's it's all over. You if you dump it in a whole quart of clear, you wasted a bunch of clear. You know.
Kevin's motto: adapt and overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we sign off, let me get that and throw it up here, and I don't know if we want to put the back on or not.
I'm going to do another car trivia one here. Let's see here. Hang on a second. I got to get all the right stuff in place. So, name the make, model, and year of this car. I like the little trivia game with the cars, though. A lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's pretty cool.
Now, if I took pictures of today's cars, I think would all fail.
I know what it
63
is.
Fairlane Slugo, got it right.
Yep. It's
Yep,
got the formal roof. Yep.
yep.
Nice.
My dad had one. Oh, I got a funny story. A real funny story, if you guys don't mind. Um, we were teenagers in my neighborhood, and I had one of the best neighborhoods for teenager or for kids. We probably had about 20 or 30 kids my age when we were growing up. So we had our own football games, north versus the south of our neighborhood, and basketball and everything else. But one day we were out on our bicycles, and I'm going to say I was probably 14, and we're out on our bicycles, and there's probably about 6 of us, and we came across a fair lane like this, totally rusted out in the front yard, for sale, $50. So
Hey,
we all pulled up and dropped our bikes in the yard like kids did, right? I knocked
right.
on the door and asked if we could take the car for a test drive. And the guy's wife, or I'm assuming it's his wife, she was the only one answered the door. She said, "Oh, absolutely," and gave me the keys.
Wow.
It was a little 3-speed on the column, which I learned how to drive because my dad had taught me. But we took a little joyride, 14 years old, with the lady's permission. I drove this thing around.
Wow.
It was really cool. I don't know.
That's cool.
I don't know how she ever thought that that was okay. And then we all tried to buy it for $50. We wanted to build like a dirt track oval car for the $50, and we were so excited. But of course, all of our parents said no out of the question. But I thought that was a funny story.
Yeah, I don't know why it's looking so far away all of a sudden.
All right, any more questions there, folks?
This is while we're waiting for questions. This is the last build I was working on in 2004 when I had to quit building. I don't know if you can go to full screen with the questions or not. This will probably be my next project, and then after that, I got to decide whether I'm going to build Tom's Oldsmobile or not, his new one, since he lost the other one in the fire. And after that, maybe I could tell the rattle can story I told you about earlier. Maybe people might get a kick out of that.
Cool. I would like to see you build that. We're picking up some sounds from somewhere.
Really?
I'm not sure where it's coming from. I hear it. Huh. Okay. Seems to have gone away now. I'm not sure if it was your end or mine.
Maybe it's my
Okay.
turntable. It is getting kind of grindy.
No, it sounded like it was feedback of talking like a TV show or something. But okay, so hey, John wanted more Chevys on the trivia, so let's do one more trivia. Hold on just a second, folks. Okay, name this make, model, and year.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, don't say it. I know you had it right the other day.
Couple years newer than me. No, older than me. If anybody was paying attention, we'll give a little hint. It's a year younger than me. Older than me. Jeez, get it right, Kev.
Joe at Joe's Rust Shop got it. Yes, sir, Joe. 60 Chevy Biscayne.
Yep.
And that was a bit of a trick one because I was expecting people to call it an Impala. So
Now,
good job.
if you'd have showed the rear view of it, people would have seen fewer taillights, and it would have been a dead giveaway.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
60 Biscayne. Good job, Joe.
Yep. Joe did it.
Yay.
Joe's right in my neck of the woods. Joe, I'm hoping to get you on as a guest coming up here.
Do you want
If you would do me so proud.
to end this with the funny story I told you earlier, or
Yeah,
about
go
the
for it. Yes.
spray can? My
Yes.
sister my sister will get a kick out of this one. When we were little kids, I was over at my Uncle Dan's house. Of course, Junior's name is Little Danny. We were out in the garage playing. He goes and gets a silver can of spray paint and one of those flat nails they use for concrete or whatever. He proceeds to jam a hole in the can with a hammer. Next thing you know, he's running around the yard with the whole top of his head and his whole head silver. And his mom come running out here. She thought he'd cut his head off. From in the house, the sun glaring on him, looked like he was running around without his head on. I,
That's hilarious.
every time I see him, I mention that story. He's like, "Don't tell nobody." Now the whole world knows Danny. Hamilton, Ohio. All right.
I'm not sure where that is. Where's that from, sir? I'm in
Hamilton.
Youngstown myself, so we're in the northeast part of the state here. I don't recognize Hamilton.
I think that's down between Dayton and Columbus,
Okay.
Zanesville area. I think.
Uh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what he comes back for. Um, well, Kevin, it was a lot of fun having you on. I think you made my first stream a success.
I
So
hope.
you carried me. Thank you very much.
I don't know about all that. Now, legendary. I don't know about that either.
Legendary. Oh boy.
Well, you got me in trouble with that one. I'm still in the doghouse. She's like, "You are not legendary." She said,
People are
"Back
going to
off,
rib
boy."
you. People are going to rib you with that one in the chats
Oh
for
yeah,
some time to come. You know that.
I
But
don't call.
I think you are. You are an outstanding builder. And the way you did it, I mean, your builds were 25 years ago, so you weren't using all the stuff that we have available today.
Oh no.
You were improvising with what you had, and to me, that even makes it all the more impressive. So my
Yeah,
hat is off to you, sir.
when you got to use a truck spare tire and an adapter for your airbrush, I would call that kind of
Southwest Ohio, so you were right near Cincy. Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I did what I had to do to make it work, without spending too much money. See, I used to go and buy a kit, come home and build it, and not buy another one till, I've always been a one build at a time guy anyway. I don't know how people have that many projects going on at one time. And now they're filming themselves too. I just don't know how you do that many things with good quality at the same time.
Well, I'll tell you, filming and building is very difficult.
Yes, it would be.
It is, and I struggle with it. But you know, if I'm going to have a YouTube channel on model building, I have to. but
Yeah,
but it is difficult because I need to get up close and personal with my big magnifier because these old eyes are failing me.
yeah,
So it is tough, but I find my way around it.
yeah. You'll have to answer John's question because
Yeah, I've been
I
meaning
haven't.
to, John. John, about 3 drops tops, 3 drops in your airbrush bowl.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I found with the nail polish I needed a retarder also because it would. And if it was raining out, you don't even dare try to spray with it. If your humidity's high, your retarder could be your friend. This leveling thinner, that's all it is lacquer thinner with retarder in it. You know,
Yeah,
They-
except for on the water base, it's not
yeah,
a lacquer thinner
yeah,
at all. So
right. Yeah, they capitalized on putting retarder in thinner. That's basically all it is, you know. But they didn't have that back when I was building a leveling thinner. I would probably use it now if I was using the toxic sprays, but that's just not going to happen around here.
do you mind if I answer chat here? Krista keeps telling Kevin he had to start a channel, and you had mentioned it yourself to me, Kevin, that you had an interest. So I told you that you could do something with me to see if you liked it.
Yeah.
Uh, and it seems like that, you know, I think you're natural for it. I highly recommend that you give it a whirl. You know,
Well,
what do
I
you guys
think
think? Kevin started his own channel, his own paint clinic.
I was thinking about doing something along those lines for anybody that might be having some problems with a paint job or something. I mean, I don't claim to know everything, but I know with my experimenting and all the different jobs I've had over the years at the cabinet shop and body shops that I've I've sprayed quite a bit, you know. We used to do production runs of cabinets that you'd be spraying for a month straight, you know. We did the bar association job downtown Akron and there was probably 2 miles of cabinets lining their hallways in the basement. And I mean, we thought we'd never get done with that job. It was just panel after panel after panel, putting that catalyzed lacquer on oak panels, and it's just unbelievable. I think you tend to learn how to handle a spray gun when you've sprayed that much.
So Chet says that you would get a ton of subs because they would think you're a comedian or an actor. So
Well, I kind of consider myself a keyboard warrior when it comes to the chats. I like to see who I can make laugh first.
yeah, I'm
Or
seeing the comments are rolling by. People would like to see you do a channel. Joe,
that's
I see your comment here. Uh,
that's that.
Joe, you're a heck of a builder, and I
Yeah, I
guarantee
like
you,
Joe.
your channel would blow up if you showed how you do that stuff.
Yeah,
You know, I think that's why my videos are doing well because I'm certainly a newcomer to the whole thing, but the fact that I take my time and really walk people through the process
yeah,
is what's making my channel blow up. Because when I got into it, I was searching out videos of people, uh, which leads me into a segue about my next guest next week is going to be Kevin Wood from Craig's Corner
oh yeah,
up in Michigan. He was one of the first guys that I found on YouTube that did full blown paint tutorials showing how to mix the paint and everything else.
right.
Because
Oh
if you
yeah, he
really want to
paints.
learn something, you don't want to hear somebody just talking about it. You need that live demo. So
Yeah,
Joe, you got to go for it.
he does some nice work.
Yeah.
So his name's Kevin and not Craig.
I'm sorry, you're Kevin. Craig,
Craig.
Craig
Okay.
Wood
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Craig's Corner. Yeah, it
yeah,
wouldn't make sense to call Craig's Corner and his name's Kevin.
so it's Craig Wood. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be
Yeah.
my guest next week. He's a good friend of mine. We hooked up in Detroit not too long ago,
Yeah.
and
I
we
think
saw
I've been.
each other in Columbus too in the spring.
I think I've been subbed to him since he started. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
He does some damn nice work. That Bigfoot was really fantastic.
and in 2 weeks I've got Papa from Papa's Model Works coming
Oh
up.
yeah,
So
yeah,
he's
that'll be interesting.
another good channel, another good guy, and so I had my next couple shows lined up, and that was really stepping out there because I didn't know if this was gonna even
Yeah,
work. So,
yeah.
well, Kevin, I
Always.
really appreciate you joining me today. I think you made the show a lot of fun. Hope to have you back again.
Yeah, I hope I survive this one. My back's killing me.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll get you signed out here, and I'll wrap it up. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Sounds like a winner.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because we did go pushing 2 hours. I told myself I didn't want to go that long, so but it was a good hit, and it's because of you guys on here that made me keep going. So till next Friday, folks. Sign in again, and I'll have a new video out on my channel in about a day or two for that Mustang. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Friday night live at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Signing out.